Hi, Angela. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me about your place as a judge in this year's Spotlight Awards. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good, great. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions so well everyone can get to know a bit more about you and what you're looking forward to for the Spotlight Awards.
Okay,
So you're actually an award-winning creative director, a decade of
that's right.
experience. So could you give us some insight as to how you found your position as the
Mhm.
creative director of Revlon Inc.?
Yeah, so I always say that I found my position very, I guess, not a linear route. So, I was an architect before in Seattle, and then I just decided to, work at Nordstrom and work in creative. So, and I think I got to this position because I always have the attitude, even today, like no job is too big or too small. I'm always open to learn new things, and I'm very curious creative, so I love discovery, and um, I think that that's probably attribute to my success so far.
So you studied architecture.
Hmm.
Do you feel like the path, so like, I mean, like studying architecture, I mean, do you feel like the path was very natural for you, or did you feel like you suddenly had this moment where you had a turn, you had a change of heart, and
No, I feel like a lot of the art degrees, art disciplines are sort of you know, I guess it's sort of the same, but it just depends on the medium that you use. So,
Mhm.
architecture gave me a lot of things about problem solving and sort of having an open mind when it comes to a design problem, and working with clients, trying to make them happy, trying to
Yeah,
figure out what suits them, and also developing your style. I think I'm rather young in the industry, whatever that means for the position that I have. Um, and so it's been like interesting process for me to sort of develop my style and what, my point of view, my creative point of view is. And I think, starting with architecture really helped
yeah,
that skill set. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you're already like in the creative mindset. So you're already prepared
Yeah.
to be open and flexible and a problem solver,
Yeah.
basically.
Problem solver. That's what I'm really good
Yeah.
at solving the problems, but
And so,
yeah.
well, like you've had like, so when it comes to working with clients and, problem solving and using your creativity, I'm sure you've worked with or in many campaigns. So
Mhm.
could you tell us about one of the most memorable or your most favorite
Yeah. There's
campaign?
so many. I have two really. Of course, the project that I worked with Cancerland, helping women with metastatic breast cancer to sort of get the word out about what stage 4 cancer is, and trying to, I guess, start the conversation and make it more normal so that, people are aware that, stage 4 doesn't really get a lot of the funding
Mhm.
that the other stages get. So that, of course, is one of my favorite. That's what I won the Clio Award for.
Mhm.
But there is one project that sticks out to me, like way early on at Nordstrom, that was it was for menswear. I used to work on this content team where we started the pop-in shops at Nordstrom with Olivia Kim, and it was basically every month was just a disruption of space. So it was like the disruption of the physical space in store and also online, and it had like some crazy themes. So we started that in like January of 2014 or some time ago. And the second campaign was like an Valentine's Day campaign for menswear called the Heartbreakers Club.
Nice.
And it was just so fun to work with all kinds of different creatives. We worked with this multidisciplinary dancer who was like sort of translating this heartbreak story into his dance and movement. It
Okay.
was really fun.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I did the videos for that. Um,
So
but
what is
yeah.
like a anti Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
What does that
Yeah,
look
the
like?
Heartbreakers Club, like, it was all in black and white. It was like this cool menswear. It was when, Hood by Air was super popular, or the start of that sort of type of dress. So it was that, and like we had skateboarders and all kinds of, Seattle has a lot of interesting art as well, and a lot of uh, I don't know, just really cool people that want to collaborate all the time. So it
Hmm.
was just this melange of people getting together.
Okay. Okay, something really
Yeah.
cool. I like that,
Yeah.
the anti, like the Heartbreakers glow. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it was cool. I'll send you the video.
Yeah, please, please, I'd love to
Yeah.
see it. And
Yeah.
you're also the creator of Refinery29's
Mhm.
Shortcuts video channel. So I've
Yeah.
watched a few of like the videos that you created, and I was wondering how you came up with the idea, and because it gained a lot of attention, it was a huge
Yeah.
success as well. So could you tell us like what was the kind of beginning thought process of it, and how it seemed to continue and grow into the success that it is today?
Yeah. Um, it's interesting because I, of course, moved to New York from Seattle to work at Refinery29, and I was a little bit like I didn't quite know what I was signing up for at the time. So when we were trying to develop these different, like BuzzFeed, they had all these different sort of content channels.
Yeah.
Um, uh, my boss at the time was asking me to, just think of a way to create like something for fashion and beauty that, could be like popular or catchy or, you hate to say like, oh, can you make this go viral? Because we
Yeah.
know that like never happens.
That's always the aim.
It does, yeah. So, I love fashion and beauty. That's what I was doing at Nordstrom. So I just sort of jumped right in, and we had to make like the first round. We shot every I guess every other week for 2 days or 3 days sometimes, and we would produce 60 videos a month, which was crazy. So I worked with this art director that loved beauty, and our producer that loved beauty, so she would kind of come up with these wild ideas, and I had this thought that, like, Shortcuts isn't about beauty so much as it is just about people who want to watch video, or like
Hmm.
entertaining quick cuts of video.
Hmm.
So once I sort of established the vibe, I guess, we became super successful quickly just through targeting and messaging and things like that. I like, oh, I kind of joke. I'm like, Shortcuts walked so Euphoria could run. But just because we would do these out there looks,
Mm.
both because of utility, we needed to do a lot of videos, and you can't just do, simple skin videos, but also because we were having so much fun, like
Mm.
trying to think of like how to do wacky eyeliner, or like how to express ourselves in the work as well.
Mm.
So yeah, it's kind of funny to see, like, at that time Facebook was going through all of its, like, I don't know, it's targeting stuff. So we would often get trolls, which
Yeah.
was like very much part of the culture of
Yeah.
Shortcuts. So I don't know, we had a lot of fun despite all that.
Cool. Cool. But it was like very like it kind of like changed even the way that beauty videos were made. Like you do see like a lot of other beauty
Yeah.
channels using that same sort of format as well.
Yeah, coming from Nordstrom, I was big on short form video, and I was thinking, I hate, I'm not like a YouTube person, so I, wanted to get like the point across without having to like put type on screen or do all this extra stuff. I just wanted it to be very visually impactful,
Yeah.
which I do think it was. And I will say, Shortcuts, we oftentimes had only women on set, which wasn't like a requirement, but I'm proud to say that we employed a lot of female filmmakers, and
Hmm.
a lot of, we had just all walks of life on in front of our camera. So,
Okay.
I'm really proud of the mission and the the stuff that we built. Because at the end of it, after like a year and a half or 2 years, we had like over 600 videos made.
That's
So
amazing. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, a lot of content. A lot of
yeah, a lot
content.
of content.
But did you feel as well that by having a majority of women on set and like all a diversity within your team
Yeah.
changed or impacted the ideas that were given when making all of this content and making the videos?
Yeah, for sure. You know, when we would show, I only know beauty for me, right? My hair type, my skin type, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So, when we would have people from, you know, any type of skin type, hair type, anything, they wanted to show what it looks like to get their hair done. So I would just provide a like platform for other makers to tell those stories.
yeah,
So I felt like it was authentic in the way that like I wasn't sitting there talking about like braids or something, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
allowing anybody who had a story to tell tell their story.
yeah. That's incredible. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun though. Like I had like towards the end there was another sort of producer that was very energized in creating a lot of content. And so you know, like we had Muslim women on, which they were looking all high fashion, and
Yeah.
we got the there is like a Muslim dedicated modeling agency. We
Hmm.
got like a Muslim art makeup artist, and you know, it was like we were. I was trying to create, you know, safe work environments and try
Yeah.
to tell these stories in the best way.
Exactly. But it's definitely very important as well because the beauty and fashion industry has a lot of power when it comes to showing inclusivity and making sure that everyone is represented as
Hmm.
well. So when you have a platform and the opportunity to do so, it's a very powerful tool,
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's cool, it's cool.
I mean, we had fun. I mean, we had fun too. It's kind of interesting. I get a lot of questions about shortcuts, and it is nice to see that it did resonate with a lot of people. Because of course, when you're in it and you're seeing like a bunch of trolls and like people just don't get like what is this? It's just
Yeah, yeah,
like but it is nice to like look back on and feel like that we did, you know, influence a lot of things. And I do see a lot of the looks happening in the world
yeah.
that we just like manifested. So
Exactly, exactly. Great, cool.
yeah.
Very influential.
But yeah, yeah, thank you.
And so now, I mean, obviously, we've all been living through the pandemic. Dun dun dun. So, so how have you seen how I mean, how have you been doing? How have you well, how have you seen the industry change throughout the pandemic, and how have you perhaps adapted the way you've worked through the pandemic as
Yeah.
well?
Um, it's interesting, like if you saw, if you went into the department store or anything for like holiday this year, you would see a lot of like repeat imagery or like illustrations for product instead of
Yeah.
like photography or something. So you can see it very visibly just in, you know, we had to be licensing imagery. We like what are so I mean we did CGI, we did, I feel like all the
Hmm.
CGI people in the world now are so busy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
definitely.
beyond busy. But yeah, like illustrations and things like that. So just I feel like the hopefully maybe it slowed down a lot of the consumption on the makers end. Like there's a lot of content that we create that we don't use, right? So
Mhm.
we went into a mode where it was like, okay, what do we absolutely need, because it's like a life risk to even create the content.
Mhm.
We sort of stopped shooting models altogether, which sucks because, you know, I love to employ in the makeup
Yeah,
industry and things like
yeah,
that. So um, that was hard, but I think, you know, we're starting to come out of it. And, but I just think the way that we created content and thinking about the content that we were making changed drastically. But I am proud to say, like, in the pandemic, my team has grown, and we were able to hire and continue to employ people. So that was really great,
Yeah, that's a
because I
plus.
haven't heard a
Yeah.
lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, because usually you hear like everything's shutting down or there isn't a lot of work.
I feel like we never stopped working,
Yeah.
which, like, to some degree, I'm like, ugh, but
Yeah.
I'm grateful, but also, it's been a wild time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a wild time.
That's the thing, because more people at home. So I mean, I started seeing more of people just being able to practice with their looks and, you know,
Oh
be able to
yeah,
experiment with themselves as well. So
yeah. We
the
have like a
creativity never
team.
really ends, does
It
it?
never ends. I do feel like it has been nice to be home and to be able to. I do still kind of get dressed. I mean, today I'm wearing sweats, but I like woke up late. But it has. We have a weekly team meeting where, like, at Revlon, no one really turns on their camera at a meeting. So
Okay.
we meet once a week, the creative team, and we turn on our cameras and we do like a thing called popcorn round. So someone poses like a random question, like an icebreaker or something, and then you like popcorn to like someone else. And then they have to answer that question. So
Okay.
we've gotten really close, even though like a lot of my team is new.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to like get to know them
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
distance working.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's been, I mean, people are directing over Zoom. We found a way to like do that sort of seamlessly with our vendors. So we have not slowed down. We
Yeah.
have only sped up, but I think it was sort of like, for me, of course, it's a problem solving thing. It's like, okay, if we can't do
Yeah.
this, what can we do?
Yeah.
How should we, reuse content? How can we repackage it? Like,
Yeah.
can we, just be a little more resourceful?
Yeah. And do you see these sorts of trends or these sorts of behavior going into the future? Because
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Like the waste part about it, or like, trying to think more efficiently. I hope that continues. And, part of the issue of working from home is that for me personally, it just never stops. Like I'm always like peeking into my
yeah,
computer or whatever. Like I
yeah,
had to like physically like shut my work computer. And if I want to go back on the computer, I have to go to my personal computer. Like I
exactly,
have to
exactly.
like have a cut, so I'm hoping that we can sort of, myself mostly, is just sort of get to a point where it's more of a live work balance.
Definitely.
Back to that, because you're not really ever leaving work. I feel like I'm just here.
Well, you're not, no, because there isn't a
Yeah,
space between your office and your home. If your
yeah,
home is your office and your office is your home, so
yeah,
you never
no
really get
kidding.
a chance to separate. What about
Yeah.
when it comes to like working with, you know, other creatives or collaborating with other creatives? Has that changed as well? Because everything has to be done through what, online or
Yeah, it has sort of, but like with photography, we're always sort of doing something. Maybe we shoot outside or whatever, right? So I've collaborated with photographers to do side projects and whatnot. But I think you see also a rise of the illustrator or like the artist sort of, especially for us, you'll see a lot of campaigns where we have, a picture of the bottle, and then, these little icons kind of come flying in. So
yeah,
we have a lot of work pairing with artists, but I think that is kind of a normal beauty thing anyway. I just think you'll see more of it.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And so gone to well, the awards. Is this your first awards that you have judged?
Yeah, actually it
Yeah.
is. And so I'm very
Okay.
excited. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you're gonna see lots. Okay, great. So
Yeah.
all right, so if it's the first one, that's really exciting. So what are you expecting to see, or what do you hope to see in this year's Spotlight Awards?
I mean, I love like when people are submitting work to judge something for someone to judge is probably something, you know, a little outside of the box and maybe experimental. So I
Yeah.
am looking forward to seeing like any new techniques, or, you know, and I always love like history and anybody that pays homage to like a certain photographer anyway. So those
Mhm.
kind of classic things that you always see, but I am looking forward to some experimental
Yeah.
something.
Okay. So like a reference to the classics, but with a personal modern
Yeah.
twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I feel
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
always get the classic sort of beauty photography or things like that, but there is a lot going on if you see people experimenting with lighting and
Mm.
experimenting with posing and like experimenting with makeup. So
Well, beauty just seems so endless now because people are, there's always something new, or there's something,
yeah,
like something completely out of the box or very creative. So
yeah,
it always just seems to be a new opportunity or a new look that comes. So when it comes
yeah.
to like working with like the lighting, are you looking for, you said something completely just
Yeah,
out
it's
there,
hard.
something like
It's
different?
kind of interesting because, you know, beauty light, you see like the skin all you know,
Yeah.
and it looks all it looks yeah, it's like pretty or whatever, and it's classic. But there are
Yeah.
some people I see experimenting, and I've seen a lot with, not only are they experimenting with light, but a lot of photographers are like sort of taking their photography and then wrapping it in like graphics, or like putting it in a little hand-drawn frame or something, like
Mm-hmm.
on like in a digital format. So they
Mm-hmm.
are thinking about like the layout and how it like sits with other pieces.
Yeah.
So I find that quite interesting too, because to me, I'm like always thinking about the who's who. I'm like, okay, so if the photographer can do these graphics, like maybe we should get those graphics in this as well.
Yes. Okay. So it's also an opportunity for you to see what talent is out there that perhaps
Yeah,
you could use as well.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always thinking about that.
Who's next? And so in what way do you think, I mean, you said it's a way but for you to look out for some of the photographers, but what way do you think the Spotlight Awards could benefit photographers as well?
Yeah, I think anytime that you have a chance to have somebody review your work, or in this type of uh, scenario, it's to me, critique is always helpful, even if it's not what you expected.
Yeah.
And I also think anytime that you can enter something and put your name in something, then you keep showing up in different, you know, searches and things. So I think it's helpful in a myriad of ways. But also, you know, if my one of my architecture professors, he said like, if you ever get stuck, just make something. So like, if, you know, to me, if you're a creator, if you just keep making stuff, you just get better and better. And you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Just keep entering, just keep
yes,
trying.
just keep trying.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's great. Okay, well, thank you so much for
Well, thank you.
this quick chat, and
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to getting your impression of well, actually sending you our submissions for when they come in, so you can see some of
yeah.
the work that we have coming
I'm
in.
very excited. Thank you
Yeah,
for this opportunity.
yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking part as well.
Of course. I'm here for anything else if you need.
Definitely, definitely. Perhaps like next year. Next year we'll have you as a return judge, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. I'd love it. Well, thank you.
Alright,
I'm very much looking forward to the submission.
cool. Great.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah.
Love it.